Hello, welcome to my tea time. Shally here. Let's get into it. So today's topic is about depression, suffering from depression, getting over depression, the light at the end of the tunnel through depression. We're talking about it. A little backstory. I have suffered from depression since I was a teenager, but I didn't realize it until I was in my late 20s. Yeah. So it was about 13, 14, 15 years of me just being sad and anxious and depressed and thinking it's normal, like really and truly thinking it was normal because everybody around me was too. And the society we live in is just like, oh, you're just getting older. Things just suck. Life just sucks. That's just what it is. And it's like, no, that's actually crazy. That's really a really wild, horrible way to think about things. And it's pretty sad that we all think it's normal to be sad all the time because it's not. Being happy is our birthright. Being positive and loving and waking up full of life is what we deserve in this beautiful life that we have. When I finally realized that I just wasn't okay and there was definitely something going on internally, emotionally, and mentally, I decided that I needed to make changes. I needed to make serious changes in my life because the way that I was living my life at the time was obviously not giving me the results that I desired. The first thing I did was pull back from people, and not like completely pull back, I don't talk to anybody, but I pulled my energy back. I pulled myself back to just be with myself. I was always the type of person who was there for everybody, physically, mentally, emotionally. Even if I was going through something, they could call me and I'd be there for them. If I could be there physically, whatever, I'm always there for them. I realized that I needed to be there for myself because I'm a very loving and helpful person. I literally love helping people. But how am I supposed to pour into other people's cups if my cup is empty? That doesn't make any sense. My cup needs to be filled up so much so that it's overflowing. So I'm always filled up and anything extra goes to the other people. That is what we as empathetic, loving, nurturing, healing people need to remember and realize. Our cup needs to be full, and not full to where and then you give everybody yours. No. Overflowing. That's the constant it needs to be in. So I started pulling back from people. I stopped answering calls and answering texts. If I didn't feel like it, I would get back to them, but I didn't feel obligated right at the time to tend to other people, whatever, especially if I just wasn't in the mood. One of the biggest things I did was have a morning routine. My morning routine became very, very important for me. A huge way that I exerted this whole not answering people right away was in the mornings. Once I started developing a morning routine, I would wake up, I would journal, pray, stretch, go on a walk, meditate, do all my stuff in the morning. When before I would wake up and immediately pick up my phone. And I'm like, okay, who called me? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to text back? What happened on social media? And all of that was just draining me and draining my energy and draining my emotions first thing in the morning. And the way that you start your morning is how the rest of your day goes. So my morning routine was extremely important to me. And I wanted my undivided attention while I was doing that. If it took an hour or 2 hours for me to get my day started peaceful the way I wanted to, that was it. Then you heard from me and I called you back, or then I texted you back, or then I went to my emails and my texts and whatnot. But I had the mornings be for me. And when I started doing that, that really catapulted my life. It really just made my days just were better because I felt so good starting off in the morning. So it would just carry on throughout the day. I also did the same thing at night. My nights are for me as well because yes, a good morning routine is great, but a night routine is just as important. So the last hour or so before I would go to bed, I would put my phone on Do Not Disturb and do my night routine. And so I can go and have a peaceful night's sleep, which would then lead me to having a peaceful morning, waking up, and then the rest. The next thing I did was really focus on what I ate. Your guts and your mind are linked. That's why they call it your gut instinct. So if your gut is full of junk, so is your mind. Junk meaning negative, depressive, stressful thoughts. So I started eating so much healthier. Fruits, vegetables, drinking so much tea, obviously, and just really being conscious and mindful of the foods that I put into my body. Noticing that when I would eat certain foods, how I would feel after. And being like, okay, I don't like that, so I'm not gonna eat that all the time, or not gonna eat that anymore. And when I started eating healthier too, it really started to help me feel better, truly, because you are what you eat. And if you eat good, you're gonna feel good. If you eat like crap, you're gonna feel like crap. The next thing I did was be very intentional about who I spent my time with. I really chose to distance myself from people who made me feel insecure or unhappy, or they just brought negative energy around to me. People who fueled gossip, drama, negativity, or influenced me into my bad habits or any of my vices that I was trying to stay away from. I stayed away from those people. Doing that was so great for me. When you're used to constantly hanging out with tons of people, groups of people, you really don't get to decipher. You really can't see which ones of them are really affecting you negatively unless you pull back. And then when you pull back and you go around certain people again, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this feeling. I don't like that. So that's another thing, being very intentional about who you spend your time with. I also chose to take huge breaks from social media. And I mean huge, like years long. Years long for some apps, months long for other, weeks long. Just I would take breaks from social media. The type of content that you consume on social media is subconsciously shaping your mind. So if you're viewing stuff that's making you feel unhappy, unmotivated, insecure, those feelings are just going to keep lodging deeper and deeper into you. So taking a break from social media, or at least cleaning up your social media, unfollowing people you don't really like or talk to, unfollowing certain accounts that make you feel upset, really plays a huge difference. And now when I use social media, I love it. I get positive experiences from it. I use it obviously for work. I use it to spread love, awareness, inspiration, and I learn so much from social media. Making that switch on how I use social media and how often I use social media played a huge role in positively affecting my mental health. I then started talking to people about what I was going through, whether that was close friends or a therapist. Just talking to somebody and getting your emotions out, getting the thoughts in your head out, and being communicating them with somebody else to get a different perspective helps so much. It really gives you the chance to do the deep shadow work. And you can do shadow work on yourself, like by yourself. Of course you can. But when you're talking to a licensed professional or somebody else that can give you another perspective of it, it really helps to dive deeper into your shadow work and really heal yourself and really face those traumas and like unlock and heal those traumas within you. One of the most effective things that I did that I absolutely love is I spent a lot of time with psychedelics. I'm obviously a very natural and healthy person, so I love to use plants, herbs, fruits, vegetables to heal myself. And while searching for different herbs and whatnot that could help heal depression, I came across psychedelics. And psychedelics have been used forever to help heal people with depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, and so much more. So I spent a lot of time with psychedelics, microdosing and macrodosing, because the different size doses you take make a huge difference in the experience that you have at the time of taking them. Psychedelics truly helped heal me so much and just helped me to understand so many things and so many thoughts that I had in my head that I just really couldn't understand or make sense of before. It also really helped to deepen my spiritual journey and bring me closer to God and myself. One of the most things I did, and still do to this day, is practice self-love and self-care every single day. And no, I'm not just talking face masks and bubble baths and stuff like that, but I mean speaking to myself nicely, putting myself first, really prioritizing my mental and physical health. And these are things that I do every single day, non-negotiables, because doing so helps me feel more confident in myself, more confident in my life, just helps me feel better and more positive. And when you feel better about yourself and you feel more positive about life, those depressive thoughts will just weaken and they'll just go away over time. Another thing that I started doing, and I still do to this day, and it led me to where I am right now, is I started listening to YouTube videos and podcasts and audiobooks about emotional healing, spirituality, about healing anxiety and depression, about anything I was going through. I started listening to other people and their perspective on it and ways they've healed it, because then it gave me more ideas, more insight on what I was going through. And I felt like I could really relate to these people because we're talking about similar situations, similar things. So it honestly made me feel good because it was like, wow, I can relate to them. Or I guess I could say they could relate to me. And it gave me a light at the end of the tunnel because these are people speaking from the other side. They've already gone through this. They've already gotten through this, and they're telling you exactly how to do it. Doing this really helped my self-development and boost my confidence and my self-esteem. And now I could proudly and honestly say that I feel so great. I feel so great about myself internally, and then what happens on the inside reflects to the outside. So I feel good inside, I look great on the outside, I attract more people to me who make me feel better, and the cycle continues. So really, working on yourself, working on your mental, taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, being healthy physically and mentally will change your life. Trust me. It did for me as somebody who didn't know they were depressed for 15 years. And I know it can do it for you too. So if you're going through this right now and you don't think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I promise you there is. I really promise you there is. You just have to keep going, keep trying different things, see what works for you, because not every practice I said might work for you, or there's some of them that might work more. So just keep trying, keep going. You will get there. The fact that you're even heading in this direction, you're going to get to your goal. Just keep going. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me and hearing me about my experiences with depression and how I got through them. I really hope this resonated with you. If it did, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Share with someone who might be going through something similar. It could really help them out. I hope you have a beautiful day. I love you. You're amazing. Please stay healthy, happy, and hydrated. Bye.